Jackson Radio Show.
I do want to get to one other thing in the news, which we haven't had a chance to talk about yet on the show, which is Hillary Clinton appeared in India, and she was asked about some of the reasons why Donald Trump won. Here's a brief excerpt of her remarks.
So I won the places that are optimistic, diverse, dynamic, moving forward, and his whole campaign, Make America Great Again, was looking backwards. You know, you didn't like black people getting rights. You don't like women, getting jobs. You don't want to, see that Indian American succeeding more than you are. Whatever your problem is, I'm going to solve it.
What's your response when you hear her talking, saying that?
Well, my state is one of those states. So in defense of Ohio, that voted twice for President Obama in 2008 and 2012, the quintessential swing state. No Republican has ever won the presidency without us. And President Obama won my state. So it's very hurtful to lump all Ohioans and all people. In politics, we should not criticize the voters. The onus is on the person that is running for office, and just to do that just continues to divide and malign people.
What do you think?
Well, I think it's rare for Nina and I to agree wholeheartedly on something, but that's an area where I agree. I mean, to suggest that the people of Wisconsin are somehow backwards or on the wrong side of history not only misreads history, it misreads the present moment. And I always remember when I would campaign in sort of blue parts of my district, and I knocked on this one door, and I gave my whole spiel, Mike Gallagher running for office, and this lady says to me, "I'm not voting for you. I don't like Republicans." I'm like, "Sorry for your time, ma'am. I'll leave." And then as I walked away, she yelled at me and said, but I am voting for Donald Trump because he's going to shake things up. And that disgust with the status quo, I think, animated both Donald Trump and Bernie Sanders at the same time. And Clinton fundamentally misreads the moment.
Do you want to weigh in?
Look, I think we looked very closely at what happened post-election, and I think I've said on your show before, there are counties in states like Ohio, but also in Iowa, where there was a massive flip from supporting Obama to supporting Hillary Clinton. And that just doesn't justify what she said. So it doesn't validate, I should say, what she said. There were a lot of dynamics in the race, no question, but I don't think you can blame it entirely. You shouldn't be blaming it on the electorate, and there was a larger issue with the campaign, how it was run, and frankly, her candidacy.
Welcome back, everybody. Kevin Jackson here. That was CNN discussing Hillary's India statement. We've already talked about that, but I want you to hear what the left is saying about it. And so here's what the first lady who spoke was a black leftist. And she says, my state is one of those states, a swing state, the quintessential state. You do not win the presidency without going through Ohio. If you don't win Ohio, you don't win the presidency. And she says, I don't like the way she lumped all Ohio people into that. And she explained it. That is a black woman who theoretically should be the person for Hillary Clinton. The reason why I want to point her out more than others, and I'll get to the other people in just a second, is I want you to understand how significant it is. How significant is it that a black woman who is the demographic that everybody tells you should be pro-Hillary, this is the one they said was going to change the election. In fact, afterwards, I think when we lost in Wisconsin, they said, we want to thank black women, blah, blah, blah. That is a woman post-Wisconsin saying, here's Hillary Clinton yet again dogging us. So then Mike Gallagher comes up. By the way, that lady said she should not criticize the voters for how they voted because that divides and it maligns. Then Mike Gallagher came in. He's a representative. He says, hard to believe I actually agree with this woman. We agree on this point. There are many things that woman and Republicans, not just Mike Gallagher, can eventually agree on. We have to win these little micro battles. Like what she said, like what Hillary Clinton said, there's not a leftist on the planet who buys into that nonsense. So the last person who spoke worked for the State Department. That's who Marie Harf worked for, a lady named Jen Psaki. And even she said the voters, many of the voters that voted for Obama were willing to vote for Hillary Clinton. And even the ones, she didn't say this, but even the ones who voted for Trump are good people. I think they said 30% of the people. And we have another clip for this. Actually, I'll just save that statement and let you hear it. Because this is now, we're going to play one from MSNBC. That was CNN. We're going to play one from MSNBC. Now, what's going on here? Hillary, again, disrespected the majority of Americans. And yes, I'm saying the majority. The majority of the American electoral and the popular vote support Donald Trump over Hillary Clinton now. The media doesn't want to tell you that. The polls, they don't want to share that. If they told you the truth about how Donald Trump is really polling, it would blow your mind. It would be so devastating that the media would be in trouble. Mueller's investigation would be in trouble. The Democrats across the board would be in trouble. Barack Obama would be laughed at. Late night comedians would have nothing to talk about if they just told you the truth. That's all they have to do. If they were to stop demonizing Donald Trump and jump on board, Donald Trump's approval rating would jump into the 70s, high 70s. Do you think for 1 second the left is going to allow that to happen? There is no way. They will fight tooth and nail. They will skew polls. They'll skew public opinion in any way that they can. And I already said earlier in the broadcast, the two reasons why the Democrats, two things that are DEFCON 1 for them. One is if any Democrat is indicted by Mueller or any other way related to the Russian conspiracy. And two, if Mueller drops the charges against Donald Trump. Forget the House Intel Committee. Mueller knows he's supposed to drop the charges after that. Mueller knows this investigation has been over for the better part of 6 months. And by the way, everybody knows it never should have begun. But if he drops the charges, that is the end of the Democrats. That's why it keeps hanging on like a hair on a biscuit. These people don't want to let this go. So that's number one. The hard truth for the few hangers-on of the Clinton era, a time when the Clintons killed with immunity. But those days are over, and the world has become a safer place because the Clintons no longer wield the power that they did 8 years or 10 years ago. Now, Andrew McCabe and James Comey, they can't fire their security details just yet. But for the most part, former Clintonistas can feel a little bit safer because Bill and Hillary Clinton have been neutered. You neutered them. Yeah, you didn't even realize you were the vet. During the campaign, Hillary Clinton called the people who supported Donald Trump, you know what I'm talking about, he called us the deplorables. And her base agreed with her. Many even cheered the term. They could put them in a basket of deplorables. And everybody laughed. But they didn't realize that the Clinton era was dying. And it was dying on the back of the Obama era. I'm telling you couldn't get a more group of cocky politicos, people that thought Barack Obama would carry her through. And let me tell you, this is how much they believed it. They cheated through their teeth. They got the FBI, NSA, FISA courts, CIA, everybody was involved, NSA, because they knew they could not defeat Donald Trump on the up and up. But they want you to believe Hillary and Barack Obama are very popular. If you're very popular, you don't need to cheat. If they go, who's going to be homecoming queen? And people go, oh, it's foregone conclusion. That's going to be Donald Trump. But if you believe that it's not going to be you and it is going to be Trump, you're going to cheat. If that's a big deal for you. The only possibility, folks, of taking Hillary off life support was a win in the 2016 presidential election. And as you all know, praise God, it didn't happen. But we got lots of excuses it happened. And so the one that Hillary came up with, the most recent, was the one in India that essentially said white women were too afraid to vote for her because it would buck the system of their, patriarchal households run by their husbands who would beat these women if they didn't support Donald Trump. And then secondarily, she won all the good people. All the bad people, well, they voted for Trump. And she yet again repeated her disrespect for Trump. But this time, her base abandoned her. They were like, wait a minute. Enough is enough. Hillary, why do you keep bringing this stuff up? We don't have time for this other clip right now. Maybe we'll bring it back coming in. But that's what I look at. I look at how did something happen before? How is it perceived during the 2016 election cycle? And now, how is this very same comment just phrased another way, how's it being perceived? And you know how it's being perceived? People can't stand it. They can't stand Hillary. Have I proven to you that Barack Obama isn't nearly as popular as he's supposed to be, or else, pay attention, why would he cheat? Why did he enlist the support of every clandestine agency? Why did he plant a story about the FBI, Hillary Clinton? Why are the Democrats knowingly covering up all this stuff? It's a very simple answer, folks. They aren't popular. That's why I told you, don't worry about the 2018 elections. In November, we're good.
Kevin Jackson on the Black Sphere Radio Network.
Do you owe back taxes to the IRS or state? The secret to avoiding the IRS nightmare is to seek professional representation. My friends at Security Tax Associates provide the most cost-effective and ethical representation in the industry while helping to avoid seizures, levies, and wage garnishments. Security Tax Associates is here to ensure that the appropriate steps are taken to permanently eliminate any possibility of future tax burdens once and for all. For a free, no-obligation consultation, contact Security Tax Associates, 844-779-4177. That's 844-779-4177. 844-779-4177. Or visit them at securitytaxassociates.com.